Well, it arrived in the mail today. My biometric passport. My new digital passport. I don't even know where to begin with this. The package I got in the mail, it was alarming, to say the least. Today we're going to be going over the chip, the biometrics, the antenna. You're not going to believe what's in the new passport. I mean, I was shocked. I was literally shocked. As I said, I don't know where to begin here. I'm almost at a loss of words. But I guess I'll start with what the government does not tell me. You see, the government, they keep their mouth shut. They go ahead and do things, but they never tell me. They never tell us. They just do it, and they keep their mouth shut. Let us start off with exactly what the government is doing to not only me, but also to you. First, they're tagging us. They're marking us. They're monitoring us. They're tracking us. They're getting ready to harvest us. We are being harvested every day with fees and fines. I mean, we'll go over these numbers later. It's not only in the inner cities now. No, now every single one of us has been marked and tagged for harvesting. Like I said before, it used to be just in the inner cities that the unwashed masses were being harvested with tickets, fees, and fines. Out the yin-yang, they were putting these poor people in jail for not being able to pay a ticket. They're still doing it. Putting poor people in jail for not paying tickets and fees and fines. But now, none of us are safe. I'm here to tell you that the new biometric passport is nothing but a tracking device to help them harvest you. Yes, and the government won't even do it by themselves. The government's not even capable of doing the work themselves. They contract the work out to people like Stanley. And if you don't know who Stanley is, they've been acquired by CGI. They had to be because Stanley got involved in the Benghazi mess. If you really want to get into some dirt, do some YouTube searches. Search the international web, and I got a YouTube video on it myself. Stanley and the Benghazi mess. Stanley was behind the video that Hillary Clinton blamed on the Benghazi mess. We won't even go into that. That's a long, long story. But make no mistake about it. This biometric passport, this is the symbol here. This is a symbol, which we'll get to later. It's right on the front of my new passport, my new biometric passport that Stanley, I was forced to do business with Stanley. How is this? All I want is to be able to visit a foreign country. But the government forces me to do business with Stanley. Stanley, some military industrial complex contractor who gets involved with Benghazi mess, who's probably in bed with Hillary. Why does the government force me to do business with fascist companies like Stanley and CGI? Why? Because I tell you, we are being harvested by a small, sick, twisted little foreign power. We've been taken over. Our country's been taken over. Every day I see a new sign of it. Every day I see new proof of it. And today the proof arrived in the mail. My new biometric passport. Those people over in that sick little twisted country over there that took us over, who blackmail our Congress, blackmail our Senate into silence, those sick, twisted you know what over there, and that foreign power that's taken us over, they must be laughing all the way to the bank. They say, yeah, we'll harvest every single American out there. Every single American will treat them like cattle. We're nothing more than cattle now, sheep, pigs to be slaughtered. But we're not being slaughtered one time, good deal. No, we're like an open air biometrically tracked chicken. They let us go around in this open air prison, but they monitor us, they tag us, they track us, and then every single day they hit us with a fee, they hit us with a fine, a ticket. We're being harvested every day. The American people are nothing but biometric raw assets for that small foreign little power over there to get rich off Americans. Americans are being treated like cattle now, I tell you, cattle. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick and tired of being treated like a slaughtered pig. Maybe it's time for Americans to grow a pair. Yeah, that's an idea. instead of being a pig, maybe we should be a mean boar. But let's get to the specifics now. I'm going to go right into the detail about what you can expect with your new biometric passport. First of all, they call you a citizen. They're lying there. You're really nothing but a raw asset for them to scan. And then you go through the facial recognition program, then the border control system. They have all the information on you. And it goes through this whole checkpoint here. Expect this to go slowly because it is a government operation. And then at the end, after all that checking and biometric verification, remember, it's all in your passport now. The microprocessor chip, the antenna, the contactless smart card technology. I mean, it's all in there. It should scare you half to death. But it doesn't end there, because when you get to the end, even if your passport does check out, we have other checking backlist that we have to go through. Like, are you on a no-fly list? Oh, do you happen to make videos on YouTube that tell the truth? Yes. Expect to be in a little cubicle, interrogated by government bloodsuckers for hours upon hours because your papers are not in order. Excuse me, sir, but your papers don't seem to be in order. Could you follow me into this little cubicle where we will interrogate you? Yes, sir. Yes, this is what we have to expect. This is what I am expecting. And believe you me, when it happens, I will share it with you, because we're going to document this fascist system all the way. All the way to this fascist system collapses into the dust and the dirt it belongs. We're going to document. We're going to show the world what happened to America. We turned into a fascist pig of a system where, I tell you, a small little tiny country overseas has taken over our country. How'd they do it? Through the media. They bought up every single TV station, newspaper they could, and then they gave our congressmen, our senators, they blackmailed them with millions of dollars. They said, shut up. Mr. Congressman, Mr. Senator, shut up. Don't tell the Americans the truth, because if you do, our TV stations, our news programming will pummel you and you'll never be elected again. Beautiful. What a beautiful system it was. How they took over the greatest country in the world. I tell you, this will be a story for the ages. 1,000 years in the future, they will be talking about how the smallest little pathetic little country on the planet took over one of the greatest empires ever. The United States of America, one of the greatest empires that ever came to existence in mankind, was taken over by a small little pathetic people. And how'd they do it? They did it with the Federal Reserve note. They took over the Federal Reserve system. They bought up every newspaper, every news channel, every media they bought up. They were using fake money to do it, and then they used the same fake Federal Reserve note to buy off our politicians. I tell you, this will be a story for the ages. It will go down for 1,000 years. Nobody will believe it ever happened. And it happened on our watch. It happened on my watch. And you think I'm not angry? Of course I'm angry. I'll spread the news. I'll spread the news as long as it takes. I'll spread the truth. But of course I'm angry. It happened on my watch. It happened on your watch. And yes, we should be mad. But I digress. Let's get back to the original story. How this biometric passport is nothing but a microprocessor chip with an antenna embedded in the front and the back covers. Let's go into it, the front and the back covers. And it clearly says right here, this document contains sensitive electronics. This is on the inside page of the back cover. They tell you, do not bend it. Do not expose it to extreme temperatures. And we're going to get to the penalties. If you mutilate this document, see, you don't own this document. This document is owned by the United States government, but probably not even the government. Like I said, we're talking about that foreign little power that took us over. The government, United States government, they don't even make this document. It's contracted out to Stanley. And you know who controls Stanley. That small foreign little power over there. We won't even get into that anymore. But let's go into the penalties if you mutilate our master's document. So, after we get through the first page, where apparently English is no longer the official language of America, well, after we get through and go to the next page, it says right here, alteration. I apologize if you cannot read it, it's kind of small, but I'll tell you what it says. If you go to the law, do not mutilate this passport. See, you don't own this. This passport is the property of somebody else. And if you mutilate it, there is a law. Now, like I said, that's another thing I just like to tell people. You cannot walk out of your house today without committing 5 felonies. They'll put you in jail for anything. And if you mutilate this piece of document, if you just happen to be on vacation or you're on your wedding honeymoon and you jump in the pool, you could literally jump in the pool or jump in the ocean with the passport on you, and then when you go to the border and they see that your passport's been mutilated by seawater or ocean water, and they say, listen, didn't you read, they'll tell you right there, the government bloodsuckers will tell you right at the border, didn't you read Section 555666? It tells you citizen. It tells you do not mutilate this passport. You do not own it. We own this passport. And now that you have mutilated it, since you jumped in the pool, you jumped in the ocean, and the seawater has now destroyed the passport, we are now going to sentence you to 25 years in the state penitentiary. Oh yeah, you can't make this up. You cannot walk out of your house today without committing 6 felonies. And here's one of them. Don't jump in the pool with your passport, or you could literally spend 25 years in prison. Yeah. It happened on our watch, people. Yeah. You go ahead and watch the Kardashians. You continue to laugh at Hillary Clinton when she does the old pickle jar gate deal. Yeah, when Hillary Clinton gets on the entertainment channel and she says, oh, I can open up a pickle jar, while she makes laws that will throw you in prison for 25 years if you mutilate a piece of paper. Yeah. Keep on laughing, Americans. Keep on laughing, because I tell you they did it inch by inch, piece by piece. When you were watching the Kardashians, they literally made you a slave. So don't even mutilate a piece of paper, or Hillary Clinton will have her goons put you in prison for 25 years. Let's go on. And the government's not hiding it. They're arrogant. They'll tell you right now. If you want to know what that little square thing is right there at the bottom of the passport, that little square, that's the symbol for the biometric passport. And they also tell you right here, make sure you have health insurance. If you're going to go out of the country, make sure you have health insurance. Really, all this is so alarming to me. Not only you will not get out of the country, if you owe the IRS money, you will not get out of the country. You will be a prisoner here. There's the symbol for the biometric chip. That's the chip. Inside, the front cover and the back cover are thicker than the other pages. All the electronics and the antennas are all embedded into the front and the back covers. Here's the paper who will tell you that if you don't want to go through hours and hours of the bloodsuckers' border control system, you can pay that extra fee. You can be harvested for more money. You can be harvested, and you can have these special cards. These special cards like Nexus that are controlled by government contractors. These are global, international contractors who the politicians give them billions of dollars so they can sell you a product. Is any of this sounding like fascism to you? How do they don't even teach us in school that we're not a democracy. We're no longer a republic. That the passports are made by companies like Stanley. You can get an extra card by Nexus, and that Nexus card will put you through the border quickly if you pay $50 annual fee. We have turned into fascism on steroids, and by now you probably are so depressed by hearing all this. You're probably so angry and depressed. You should be. You literally should be angry. Your blood should be boiling. Because if your blood is not boiling, then I didn't do my job in waking you up. You see, when are we going to wake up? I know that there are many people in this country who are awake. The awakened, but the problem is our numbers are so small. And that's the only reason why I make this video. I hope and pray that our numbers get bigger, and I hope that the awakened will grow in numbers. We have to. If we want this statue to still be standing 50 years from now, then we are going to have to grow in numbers, the awakened. And I'll leave you with this. They can only put us down if we let them. Remember that. We are the power. We control them if we join together. That's the secret. They can only do to us what we allow them to do. If we join hands, if we come together as an awakened people and we say, no, you will not tag us. No, you will not mark us. No, you will not monitor us and track us. We will not be harvested like a raw asset. No. Once we all came together, if we could get all the people who watched the Kardashians and magically those millions of people became awake, and the awakened walked up their marble steps and we walked into their marble halls, none of their armies could stop us. Their armies are not big enough to stop Americans who awake. Once the American awoke and we walked into their marble halls and we said, enough. It stops here. Trust me, they would listen because they would have no other choice.